So, lads, the Fever were garbage yesterday. I think we're all in agreement. I think we're all in agreement that the Fever were absolutely, positively garbage. They were garbage. But there was one bright point for the Indiana Fever. And look, we need to be honest here. If this Fever organization is competent, if this coach is competent, you make one of these two changes. And look, if we're talking purely basketball, you make one of these two changes. You have to take, in my opinion, you have to either take Caitlin Clark out of the starting lineup, or you have to take Natasha Howard out of the starting lineup. It's one or the other. I think you either take Natasha Howard out or you take Caitlin Clark out of the starting lineup. And I think at this stage, you have to make a choice. You either start Ari McDonald or you start Caitlin Clark. And let's be completely honest. You start Caitlin Clark. We just have to talk about this for argument's sake. You start Caitlin Clark. But unless you are just opposed to Caitlin Clark as a basketball player, not as a human being, you are just opposed to the way Caitlin Clark plays basketball. And it's very clear the coach is opposed to the way Caitlin Clark plays basketball. But we got to look long-term at a positive. When Stephanie White is back doing media, because let's be real, there's not going to be a team that's rushing to sign Stephanie White at the end of the season. When she's back in the media, when that happens, and it's Caitlin Clark and Leah Boston, the only other player I'm so set on being there is Michaela Timson. She is so important for this team. Like, I don't think people realize how important long-term Michaela Timson is for this team. Short-term, I don't know how great she's going to be this year. She's already exceeded my expectations based on how she was to start. She's already exceeded my expectations. I didn't think she was going to be... Look, I didn't think she was going to be bad by any means. I thought she was going to come in and do a job. I didn't think she was going to be... this good. I did not think she was going to be this good this quickly after getting no minutes for so long. But, yeah, it is a very, very interesting one right here. But if you guys have seen just the way Caitlin Clark has been talking about Michaela Timson, like, Michaela Timson was their best player last night. Their best player was Michaela Timson to play more than 10 minutes. Their best guard was Caitlin Clark. Their second best player was Dantas, but she barely played. But if you guys haven't seen the way that, like, Caitlin's been talking about Michaela Timson, so I think she's been tremendous. The athleticism that she has, she blocks shots, she gets her hand in passing lane. She's going to be a great asset for us going forward. I'm really proud of her. And that's the thing when it comes to Timson, is that Timson is going to be huge. There's a reason why fans are excited. And I mean this. The fact Stephanie White, I don't care. We always said this. We're like, I don't care how bad Timson is. She can't be worse than Bree Turner. But, like, Timson had a career game. She had 10 points on 9 shots. She was the only player on the team that shot above 33% from the field. I'm not joking. She was the only player on the team that shot above 33% from the field. She had 5 stocks. And by the way, she averaged 5 stocks a game in college. I know college, especially for FSU, isn't the same as the WNBA. It's not the same. Let's be real. It's not the same. But, like, she's averaging, what does she have? 6, 9. She's averaging 3 stocks a game over her last 3. And they are, in fairness, 2 losses. Like, she's started getting, playing. Since she started playing, she's averaging nearly 3 stocks per game. Probably just over 2 stocks per game. Since she's coming back. And, like, since she started playing. This is someone who was getting DNPs. Was getting DNPs for Bree effing Turner. Like, she needs to start. Because at this point right now, Michaela Timson and Leah Boston have been garbage with each other. Like, that is a factual statement. When the two of them are on the floor at the same time together, they've been terrible. But, like, again, there's not a big enough sample size to say Michaela Timson and Leah Boston can't play with each other. There's not a big enough sample size for that, and I think they'll figure it out. I think Leah Boston's biggest thing is her like, IQ. I think that's why Aaliyah Boston's so good. I think she's so good because she's so smart. I think Aaliyah Boston, talent-wise, is not near the most talented center. She's the smartest center. She's smart, so she can start to do things like that. But at the end of the day, we're looking at a Natasha Howard who is... I don't know if Natasha Howard... A lot of people are like, oh, Natasha Howard's better right now. And I'm like, is she though? Is she? She puts up circus shots and they go in. Like a lot of people are like, oh, Natasha Howard. It's like they won the Commissioner's Cup with playing sides ball. Or say not playing sides, but playing the way Stephanie White wanted to play. They need to keep playing that way. And I'm like, you know what? If that's your argument, fine. Then trade Caitlin Clark. First of all, trade Caitlin Clark. Like if the goal is we want to play Stephanie White basketball, trade Michaela Timson, trade Caitlin Clark. You would get a king's ransom for the two of them. Imagine you going to the Dallas Wings. I've said this. For Caitlin Clark, you would literally have to give up. You would be able to get, for Caitlin Clark and Timson, you could get Paige Bueckers, Dallas's first round pick this year, and Maisha Hines-Allen, who would help you out this year. Or Tiara McCowan, whichever one you want. Like, that is what you could get. You want to trade the two of them. And then suddenly you've got, imagine JJ Quinterly, Caitlin Clark. Heck, on the court, Dejanay is a perfect third option. Imagine Quinterly, Clark, Dejanay, Geisel Soder, and I don't even know who you're going to have. Find a power forward from somewhere. Find a power forward. Bring back Leah Two King for all I care. But and that would be a team they could make a playoff push. But let's be real. Michaela Timson is going to be with the Fever, and I don't know how good Michaela Timson is going to be this year, but I'm really excited to see as a positive how Michaela Timson is going to be when Stephanie White's gone. I don't know if that's going to be next year. I don't know if that's going to be the year after. However, if they stick to Stephanie White over Caitlin, I don't know, with a different point guard than Caitlin, I still think she's going to be a long player in the league. I'm really interested to see how she plays in Prague. So she's a EuroLeague import. I really want to see how she plays in Prague because I think she's going to be able to figure it out. I think if she's killing it in Prague on a EuroLeague team, she's going to come in as a potential starter next season. Because let's be real. Thank you for winning MVP of the Commissioner's Cup. Thank you for winning Commissioner's Cup MVP. Thank you. 3-time champion comes to the Wings after being named All-Star in 2022. They really haven't updated this in 3 years. But thank you, Natasha Howard. But you're just not as effective as your backup right now. And you play with the motor of, like, if I was on the floor. You play with less of a motor than I play with. And I've got lung damage in one of my lungs and tore my Achilles a couple of years ago. And I'm probably 15 pounds overweight. And I still probably play with a higher motor than Natasha Howard than when I play. And that's the thing with Natasha Howard. Like, we saw it against the Lynx. We saw it against the Aces. When she wants to be, she can be a good defender. She just chooses not to be a good defender. We saw it if you watched in Europe, she just did not play defense when she was in Turkey. But either way, really excited for Michaela Timson. I think she's going to be a huge addition to this team. Look, I don't know how long Caitlin Clark's going to be on this team. I don't know if they're going to be playing together long term. I don't know if Caitlin Clark even lasts her rookie deal. Like, if there's even word of Caitlin Clark wanting out, let's be real. The only time I think a WNBA team has not given into a trade demand is in the last 3 years. Or in the last 2 years has been the Connecticut Sun, Breanna Mabry. And that's only because they traded for her in the first place. But yeah, that is pretty much it. That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.